this opportunity to also acknowledge in absentia the Deputy Minister that's given us quite a lot of insights despite not being physically here. I want to also acknowledge the presence of our board members. They've been very steadfast with us on this journey. Dr. Fonek, Fatima is here as well. Both of them are respectively the chairs of the Audit Committee and of the Human Capital and Remuneration Committee. And they really assist EXCO in continuously reflecting on how we live and make sure that our lived experiences within the business do reflect the sensitivities that we need to bring along, and that days like today are not just a day out of the 365, but reminds us to deepen the change in the culture that we need to see in the business. So thank you very much to both Claudel and Fatima for the generosity of your time to being with us today. Let me also acknowledge the leadership from organized labor. I'm aware that the NUM is represented here. If there are other leaders from the organized labor that are here, you are very welcome, and thank you for essentially showing that this is also equally an agenda that is high on organized labor's motives as well. Today we celebrate and reflect on the women empowering in ESCOM, the women powering ESCOM in the energy sector, from all our engineers, our technicians, our operators, to leaders in the various corporate services. What we want to say to you today is that you don't keep the lights on only, but you are powering our nation's growth. So for that, we want to take a moment and salute you and say thank you to you. We want to also say thank you and welcome to the DDG from the DEE who works with us very continuously, very closely. Kubeshni is here as well. I want to recognize you. Kubeshni is one of us. She's home. She's back home. She's home and she continuously supports us from the other side of the Yakskay River. Why are we here, colleagues? This event, as speakers before me have said, is more than just today. It's a call to action. And it will remain a call to action until we have fixed the disparity that exists between women and men in our society. Globally, women make up less than 25% of our energy workforce, and we know that statistically in many of our populations, women are equal to the number of men, and in some instances in higher proportions. Here in South Africa, women are 46% of the national workforce, yet in the energy sector, that number is much, much lower. And you live that experience, you know it even within the businesses that work with us or that supports us. The Deputy Minister has touched on this issue. Our industry is at crossroads. The just energy transition is happening. If you think about it, it happens within an environment of an unequal footing. And so on top of that unequal footing, you now superimpose another transition. Of course, what we need to really bear in mind is that this transition is not only about the technology choices from hydrocarbon intensive technologies to cleaner technologies, but it's also about new opportunities, protecting communities, ensuring inclusivity, and women and the youth need to be at the center of it. So as we find our foot in terms of stepping forward in this area, we then need to correct some of the long outstanding deficiencies in our societal setup. The World Economic Forum predicts that at the pace that we are moving at, in terms of closing the gender gap within the workplace, it will take close to 130 years. Now, we all won't be here, and we shouldn't be burdening generations that are coming long after us to fix this. It is really upon us to do damage to these long outstanding inequalities. And it starts with us. It starts with the decisions that we make. It starts with our deliberate intentions of ensuring that we put women agenda at the center of what we're doing. This year, with South Africa leading the G20, inclusive growth and women's economic participation is top of the agenda. But let's come down to how we as a business, as Eskom, have to do our own part. Of the 42,000 strong workforce, 37% of it are women. We've made some progress in this area. We are better than the norm, but we're not where we need to be. Our goal is to be there at the 40% representation by 2028. And I'm very comfortable that if we stay down this course, we'll achieve this target even before the time. It calls for each and every one of us that are making decisions to be intentional in as far as ensuring that we close this gap. Being intentional in as far as ensuring that we create the right level of competency support for women's talent to rise, because it's there. We need to remove the barriers that hinder the rising of women's talents, and it starts right at the top with me and my Exco colleagues. Here's what we are doing in this regard. It is through the leadership pipelining, executive coaching, mentorship, succession planning programs that we are going to be able to deliver on our plans. And so increasingly, we need to be seeing the promotions, the hirings that are intended to help us deliver capable women in this role so that they can provide the leadership to organizations. This year, when it comes to youth and skills development, 41% of the Eskom bursars that were awarded this year were awarded to young women, mainly in the STEM fields. And 44% of our early career pipeline are young women in technical roles. My directive to the team is that we need to keep, maintain, and harness this talent so that it comes throughout the process and enter the workforce of Eskom in years to come. We continue to support, in particular, Black women-owned businesses in our supply chain, and that's an aspect that we cannot tire in as far as our procurement is concerned. However, there's a lot of work that we still need to do. Our gender equity policies need to move from being documents, but being something that we live. And it is really when we change the smell of the place in this regard that we'll all feel comfortable that we have contributed in this regard. We have, and we are very proud, and we should be very proud, that we have very highly placed skilled women at the forefront of our Eskom strategy and operations. The list is endless. I do not want to necessarily be calling names out here, but we are very intentional at the executive level that we have appropriate representation that is empowered, that needs to lead. In the generations, distribution, and the group capital space, we are focused on the GMs that we have, and many of them are doing fantastic work that is leading the business in the right direction. At NTCSS level, exceptional women with talents that are emulating what excellence represents. We are thankful that we have with these women amongst us to help us all as leaders and to lead this business to new heights. Our call to action: energy is about people. A just energy transition must include women at every level. So I call on every leader within the business to commit to 3 actions. The first one is that we must put women at the decision-making table, not on the sidelines, and for women to create new tables and bring other women along. Each of us has the responsibility to pay it forward, and I really want to make you normalize feeling uncomfortable when you get into conversations that are just dominated by men around the table. Make it uncomfortable. Make your manager feel uncomfortable in this process. Let's invest in skills and opportunities for women, especially in STEM and new industries. So explain your investments in skills development and of opportunities within the context of what you're doing in as far as advancing this agenda that we have as a manager. And let's hold ourselves accountable through measurable targets and transparent reporting. That we should do, colleagues, from all areas within our business. And in closing, I want to remind us all that all of us, me included, we stand on shoulders of women who turned the resistance into reconstruction. And today, we seek equitable power for women, for ESCOM, and for our nations. All of us as men, the first people that we got to know were our mothers who have made us who we are, and we owe it to them that we progress the agenda for women in our lifetime. To the women of ESCOM, thank you for your resilience, your leadership and brilliance. You are powering not just electricity, but South Africa and its future. Together, let's build an ESCOM in South Africa that reflects the power of all its people. Happy Women's Day and Women's Year. Thank you.